Hello. Oh, let me put this down. Hello and welcome. Okay, let's start again. Hello and welcome to the Warmness Machine podcast. My name is Lindsay. This is a fiber arts podcast, and I'm a fiber artist. I crochet, I knit, I spin, and I've just begun learning how to weave. And this episode is going to just go over a few, well, I only have one finished object, but some of the stuff I've been doing in March. And that's it. So let's get into it. So my first finished object is you already know, because I'm doing a sock study, and it is this toe up custom sock made for my son. I'll put a link to the yarn below. It's from the Crochet Cove, Dancing in the Dark. I took an online class to kind of learn this, and it was really, really helpful. But let's talk about a few of the things that I learned while doing it. Both heels, once I started, I had to go back for both of them. Because something about once you start making your increases, I'm fine. But then once you have to come back around and start doing these knit two togethers or SSPs, I think, I don't know what they're called on the pearls, but I was knitting two together. And like one side looks really, really nice, and the other side does not have the same symmetry. And when I was first listening to Earth Tones Girl and her podcast, and how it like kind of drove her a little bonkers, the lack of symmetry in the heel, I get what she's talking about now. Because like I know that one side, I don't know if I'll be able to show you, but I know that one side is super duper nice and the other side is just a mess. And they've been worn. I finished them maybe about a week and a half ago, and I blocked them, and as soon as they were dry, my son put them on. These are for his feet. Why has he got such big feet? So yeah, he loves them, and I have to wash them again because, as you can see, he went on an excursion. We're not too far from DC. And him and his dad he had been talking about wanting to go to the Lincoln Memorial for a very long time, my son. And so his dad took him, and they had a blast. So now I'm going to block these, wash these again. I think I'll just not, but they're already doing something. So I might get, I don't want anybody to quote me or to bring this up later, but I would love for my son to have the quality of sock yarn that I have with my hand spun. So I think what I'm going to do is, instead of buying all this beautiful, beautiful yarn, I'm just going to look for the most durable sock yarn I can. So I'm going to write that down in my sock study, like taking note of what sock yarns are really good. And my kids are a great testing base for that. Anyway, I love these socks, and I love the colors, and these were so fun to make. And I learned Judy's Magic Cast On for down here, and I have to tell you, it's a lot of fun just wiggling yarn around needles. So yeah. But last thing is that I bound off in pattern. So like so here at the cuff, it's knits and purls. So there's 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls, a 2x2 ribbon. And one sock looks fine up here, and the other sock looks like the cat's been sucking on it. I don't know what happened. I think because I'm a continental knitter, I kind of tried to finagle it around too much, and it's just not as neat. This is not as neat as this when you get close up on it. So I'm going to figure that out for next time. And that's it. This is all a learning process. So that's my only finished object. But I do have a works in progress that I am working on. And before I show it to you, I kind of want to show you my mistake first. Today is Monday. That's not true at all. Today is Sunday. And I have split for the sleeves of this beautiful Aztec sweater. The problem is, can you see this here? I can see the short row increases right here, and they don't go till about here. So what I was thinking is that I have messed up somewhere in my rounds. Let's see. You see, I carried some floats. So these are the floats here. And they kind of got carried as I was increasing, like, I don't know if you can see. But right here it starts pretty center. And then if you go down, you'll see that the center is right here. So where it starts, the center, let me show you. So where this first beginning stitch is for green, if you follow this all the way down, you'll see that it hits right here. And in the pattern, this is not where the row stops. It kind of stops over here after all the increases. If you look, I'll show you. If you look. Take a look at my mistake, my big, huge mistake. So here I have, we can see that here, oh, you can't see. Here you can see, this is where I believe the row begins and ends with the color work chart. But if we look here, this is the center, true center, I think. So my pattern is a little messed up. So what I'm gonna do is, I've only done a few rows of this. I've tried it on, it looks fine. And it probably doesn't bother me or anybody else, you know, but I'm the type of person that if I see it, I can fix it. So that means I would start here at the center, and this would be the center, and that would kind of even out. You wouldn't be able to see those increases so well. So I just wanted to share that I will be taking out all these rows and starting my counting for splitting the sleeves from this location instead of from this location, which is I think where it should be, but according to the color work chart. But I stay making mistakes with remembering where the beginning of round is, because I'm not used to doing this like a helical pattern, you know, because in crochet you kind of meet and then you go up, but in knitting you're just going round and round up. So I'm getting, and that's how this is, center stitch crochet pattern is. So I'm gonna fix that and we'll see what happens. So you saw that I had a mistake. I did fix it. And I know why the mistake happened, because I kept forgetting to put my beginning of round marker in. Yeah, but I have not begun continue. So it looks much nicer. So this is the back, right? Just line everything up. It's always, okay. So this is the back with the yoke. And then we have the front. And now I think it's much better. It makes me feel better. And when I looked on the pattern, this centerpiece was the center right there. So, so yeah, so that's okay. You know, do you want to live with a mistake or not? That's what you have to ask yourself when you go back. Am I willing to live with a mistake? Sometimes I am. A lot of times I am. But if I'm learning something new, or if it's something I think is kind of noticeable, and it only adds like maybe an hour to my overall life, because at the end of the day, this is taking me, like I started this collar in October of last year, and have been just kind of plugging along slowly, and just making socks too, and spinning and doing things that I like. But that's how a slow progress goes on a big project, and this is a big project. So my goal for April is to have it finished by the end of April, and that's really lofty. It's a lofty goal, because if I'm being honest, it's not going to be as fun. The color work is not, no, the regular just single crochet center stitch going down is not going to be as fun as the color work. And I'm just going to have to get some TV time in, pick a couple shows, and go at it. And that's fine. That's totally fine. But it's springtime. If you can hear the birds. It's springtime, and yeah, what do you think I want to do in the spring? Spin. I want to spin yarn. It's almost as if, like, you know, it's some sort of tradition, you know, some sort of human tradition that around this time of the year, you're not so interested in making garments. You know, with your yarn, you're interested in making yarn. Yeah, the sun has been out. It's been a beautiful couple of days here. And I truly, the birds are so loud right now, and in the greatest way. My daughter has been like, the birds are making sounds outside. I'm like, yeah, they're singing. They like to sing to each other. So then I showed her a robin. I said, oh, look, there's a robin. I said, do you see that robin? Do you hear him? I think it's a him. I don't know. He's talking to his friends over there. I love birds. And when you get older, you start bird watching. Who knew? So, yeah, goals for April is to finish this. But again, it's kind of lofty, because I am very, very excited to start spinning all the time. I love spinning yarn. I love it. And so let's talk about spinning. So last year I purchased some yarn from Akara, some fiber from Akara Yarns. She is in Canada, and she had 100% Dorset fiber. And Dorset is known as a really hardy wool. I mean, I'm feeling it right now, and I'm like, whoa. I love wool. So this is in the colorway Tattoo, and it's already been put into bundles. So I'm just gonna unwind it. She got back to me and said, I said in a previous episode that she said, this is pretty heavy on the orange. Is that okay? And I said, totally. But what happens when this orange and this blue meet is this amazing grayish color. I'll see if I can insert a picture. I don't know if I can, but there's this amazing gray color that comes in with these two. And then hold your horses. And then there's this pink. And I just, to say I'm in love is accurate, you know? And I wish we would say that more about things instead of people, you know? And I've been on that train for many, many years. But So these are the last two bumps, I call them bumps, that a little something. These are the last two bumps that I am going to be making, that I'm going to be doing for my first bobbin, because I've already started. I mean, like, how much I missed spinning, and it's only been like a couple months, you know, because I spun for my socks and I take a break. But this is, ooh, so much fun. So this is a 3-ply yarn in Dorset. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Let me show you some yarn, some fiber that I purchased from Small Bird Workshop for the 4-ply that just arrived. I don't like to do acquisitions because it's not about what you buy, it's about what you make. But it's gorgeous. So let me show you. So I went online through people, you know, I wind and wiggle myself through the Instagram, and I have some really good fiber friends that are putting me up on game. And that's the best way I could say that. I don't know how I only know how to use sometimes black vernacular or idioms or made up phrases that I like to come up with. Language is so fun, don't you think? I always wanted to be a linguist. I kind of am. I'm getting off task, but this is what I got. This is 100% Cheviot. This is Cheviot mixed with alpaca, linen, and silk. And these are going to be my 4-ply yarns. I'm going to ply them 4-ply, and then make the sock with the contrasting colors. So I'll have one sock that has this as a toe and a heel and a foot. And then I'll have this sock with toe and heel and foot over here. And I think that's going to be fantastic. They're both 100 grams, and yeah. But stay tuned, because as soon as I finish this wonderful sock yarn, I am putting all of my attention into this wonderful sock yarn, because I want to wear these wonderful socks for my birthday. But we all have birthday dreams and birthday wishes. I learned that if you're going to sit and spin, you have to sit and spin the whole thing. You know, you can do a sample and figure out what you want to do if it's a worn garment. But I spun a bunch of yarn for a project, and then I left it, and then I came back to it and spun it up again, and they're 2 different weights. No big deal. I have enough for my project. But just thinking to myself, like, okay, so when I sit down to spin something for a long project, I'm going to have to sit down and spin for a long project. I don't get the I'm not going to have the opportunity to take a break. So that's why I'm trying to plan all my making around, because you can take a break from spinning. You know, you can spin a bunch of stuff and then take a break and knit it up later. You know, you can let yarn rest. I'm totally down for that. You can let bobbins rest. You should let bobbins rest. But yeah, so that's for much later in the year, or sooner than I think. Who knows? Goodness gracious. But sock yarn, I'm into it right now. So, and it's pretty quick to spin. So now we're coming to the end of the podcast, and thank you so much for watching. I'd like to give a little book recommendation if I could. A children's book recommendation, because we go through a lot of children's books, and also a book for your personal enjoyment. First, I'll talk about the book recommendation I have for this episode. And this one is The Power of Knitting. It is by Loretta Napoleoni. I love this name, Loretta. It's such a cool name. And then this woman is Italian, I think. I think she's Italian. She wrote this book after getting out of a divorce. And it has like patterns in the back. These are World War I and II service socks. It has wig hat, different things. It has pussy power hat pattern in here, and it doesn't take up much, But the patterns don't take up much of the book. It's very nice and very wonderful. I actually listened to this book on audio. I did not purchase it. And it was so much fun to listen to. I don't know who read the book. It was not the author. But I'll give you an example of some of the chapters and why I'm recommending it for you. It talks about introduction, like knitting, the pattern of love, politics, and economics, which, oh my goodness, I'm learning so much. Not from this book, from like just my deep dive, which is why I'm sharing. And then it has Why Do We Knit? Knitting for the Revolution, Feminism's Love-Hate Relationship with Yarn, Wool is Cool, The Magic of Knitting Networks, Knitting in the Age of Neuroscience, Let's Knit Together, Restitching Society, and then the epilogue is All You Need Is Love. And so she talks about different things that I listened to it not a couple years ago, but maybe in the beginning of the pandemic when I first thought about knitting. I wasn't even a knitter when I got this. So, but it's such a good book because it gives you some real perspective on social change, which we are amidst. We are knee deep in right now. And just, societal changes, social changes, life changes, all those kind of things that really can affect you in a different way. And some of the ways that you can use the energy and power within yourself to not self-destruct. It's, we're going to have to, everybody has to take it easy. We do. We all have to start taking it a little bit more easy. So, and this was the book that helped me begin that process. And I tell you what, it's a good listen and it's a really fun book. I haven't made any patterns in this book because again, like I said, I got this book before I could knit. And it's got more hat patterns, a bikini pattern. But yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. So I suggest this book for your personal enjoyment. The second book that I would like to recommend is a children's book. And we picked this up from the library. I am a library patron, a library enthusiast. I used to work at the library as an ESL instructor. So you're not going to hear anything bad about the library from me. I actually go to a knitting group. Well, it's called a fiber arts group at the library. It's so much fun. These women, these girls, there's a 10-year-old there, but like also everybody's like super duper nice and cool and weird. And I never feel awkward. I never feel weird, which is saying a lot because I feel weird all the time. I am weird and it's been something I've been dealing with for quite some time, but let's get to the book. Douglas, You Need Glasses by Ged Adamson. This book is a lot of fun. My daughter wears glasses and we didn't pick it up because she wears glasses. I just thought it was silly. I love when you can read the title of a book in your head and it matches, So Douglas, you need glasses. Douglas needed some glasses and he got them. But that process, oof. So, and then at the end, it shows real kids who wear glasses. So if you have a son or a daughter who wears glasses, it's really very popular. I wear glasses for like long distance and driving and stuff. And my partner and my husband, he needs glasses. He can't see without glasses. See? On the way home, Douglas said, "Wow, everything looks amazing." And it was. There's a sequel to this book. Douglas, you're a genius. So pick up both if you're getting from the library. They're both hilarious and they're both super cute. Both of my children love them, the little one and the big one. The little one really loves this book. She thinks it's hilarious because Douglas really he's having a hard time seeing stuff. So, and sometimes you just need to get glasses, and there's no shame in that. Yeah, so that's my episode. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you liked this episode, feel free to like. I would love to hear anything about if you've read The Power of Knitting, or if you love the library as I do and you picked up this book or you've read this book. I'd love to hear. If you have any spinning or knitting plans, would love to hear. Would love to just communicate out there with the community. So I'm also on Instagram, and I'll put a little blip of that down. My Instagram handle is Aliyah_Yaeli, or Aliyah Yaeli. It's my Hebrew name. So, and Passover's coming, so get ready for that. All right, sending you big hugs and kisses, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Did it record? It did!